Okay, are you excited and ready? It's time to go through a whole new set of scrambled paragraphs. Nothing gets us more pumped up than that, right? Okay, well, maybe not, but let's begin. Paragraph 1. In many cultures, a baby's first steps are an occasion to be remembered. R. When a child is ready to begin walking, the parents fit it with specially designed ankle bracelets adorned with gently ringing bells. Okay, that looks like it could be a nice follow-on sentence fit. I'm not sure why the parents would refer to their baby as it rather than him or her, but we'll leave that aside for just a second and review the other sentences. U. In addition, the child, well, in addition naturally follows as a transition, so that's probably not the first follow-on sentence. 2. The first steps being an occasion to be remembered, which is our main topic. Q. In traditional Indian families, however's again another transition. It could be suggesting that Indian families don't celebrate. Those steps are celebrated as a ceremonial event. Well, it's saying that not only do they celebrate it as a ceremonial or official kind of event. So that's possible. Let's look at T. The sound of these bells mimic, well, what bells? We don't know what bells. There are no bells mentioned in the main topic sentence, so that can be eliminated as the first follow-on. How about S? Some of these carts, well, we don't know what these carts are. So really our options for first follow-on is R or Q. And for a moment, let's put Q up above R and decide which one fits better. In many cultures, the baby's first steps are an occasion to be remembered. When a child is ready to begin walking, the parents fit it with specially designed ankle bracelets. Well, okay, that's actually specific about the ankle bracelets. I think Q is a better option. In traditional Indian families, however, contrasting transition, those first steps are celebrated as a ceremonial event. Excellent. I like Q as our first follow-on sentence. Now the question is, what comes after Q? R, U, T, or S? When a child is ready to begin walking, the parents fit it with specially designed ankle bracelets. Or in addition to what yet? We still don't know. T, the sound of these bells mimics the footsteps. Well, we're not sure what bells, unless it's the bells that are introduced in R, the sentence we do have presently behind Q. And lastly, some of these carts, well, we don't know what carts we're talking about because no cart was introduced yet. So I would say R is the best follow-on or next sentence after Q. When a child is ready to begin walking, and chronologically it is starting before the child begins walking. When he's ready to begin walking, the parents fit it, the child I assume, with specially designed ankle bracelets adorned with gently ringing bells. So I think now T, the sound of these bells, is a good follow-on to that because the bells at the end of sentence R connect to the sounds of these bells in sentence T, these being the bells that are around the ankle bracelets. The sound of these bells mimics the footsteps of the legendary child Rama, a major Hindu deity. So that takes us down to a 50-50 choice between U and S for the next sentence. Could be U. In addition, the child may be given a handcrafted walker or push cart. Or S, some of these carts. Okay, the pronoun these probably refers to the push cart mentioned or introduced in U, so S should follow U naturally there. And U, it begins with in addition, and that's in addition to the fitting of ankle bracelets and the sound of bells mimicking the footsteps of Rama. In addition, the child may be given a handcrafted walker or push cart to provide support for its first steps. So I like U as a follow-on to T, and S seems to be a clear follow-on to U because some of these carts, the push carts referenced in U, are intricately decorated to resemble the chariot of Krishna, another important Hindu deity. So I like the ordering of our paragraph 1. Let's move on to 2. Paragraph 2. The Midwestern plains of the United States experience more tornadoes than any other part of the country. What would follow that? When cold, dry air from Canada passes over the Rocky Mountains and collides with warm air from the Gulf of Mexico, the resulting disturbance may form a violent funnel cloud. That's possible. That could be an explanation of why the Midwest has a lot of the tornadoes. But let's keep going. Let's look at R, Q, S, and T as possibilities for the first follow-on. R. Still, though, tornadoes can be powerful and destructive. Well, that's contrasting something, but clearly not the first topic sentence, so that's not the follow-on. Q, this funnel, well, not sure what funnel specifically they're referring to. Clearly a tornado, but that doesn't follow the first sentence. S, the fastest tornado wind speed ever recorded was 318. Well, that doesn't tell us about the Midwest having a lot of the tornadoes. T, it is here, well, here would be the Midwest, so this looks like it could fit. Meteorologists have observed that the unsettled weather conditions during the spring months are nearly perfect for tornado formation, which is an explanation of the main topic sentence, why tornadoes appear in the Midwest more than any other part of the United States. And it is here, the reference here is to the Midwest in the main topic sentence. So that's a very good follow-on. T is our first follow-on sentence. What would come after T? Well, the weather conditions are perfect in the spring months for tornadoes. Could that be followed by when the cold, dry air from Canada passes over the Rocky Mountains and collides with the warm, moist air from Gulf of Mexico, the resulting disturbance may form a violent funnel cloud? I think so. That would be a good follow-on explaining exactly how the weather conditions are unsettled in the Midwest and how they lead to tornado formation. So U is a good supporting example of the statement in T. RQS would not seem to follow that quite as well. But let's look at which one of those would follow U. R. Still, though, tornadoes can be powerful and destructive. No, not really, because our last sentence, U, ended with the formation of a violent funnel cloud. So that really continues, that sort of ends with the idea that tornadoes are powerful and destructive. So let's check Q and S. This funnel is a rotating column of air with a speed approaching 300 miles an hour. That could be a good fit. The end of U is introducing a violent funnel cloud. S, the fastest tornado wind speed ever recorded. Okay, I think Q is the best follow-on to U, which ends in a disturbance may form a violent funnel cloud. And this pronoun referring to that violent funnel cloud. This funnel, both words connecting or hooking the two sentences from end to beginning, is a rotating column of air with a wind speed approaching 300 miles an hour, which is pretty fast, suggesting the idea that it's violent, introduced in U. That leaves us down to a 50-50 choice between R and S. Is the better follow-on to Q, which indicates wind speeds of 300 miles an hour. R, still though, tornadoes can be powerful and destructive. Each one lasts only a few minutes and disappears. Or S, the fastest tornado wind speed ever recorded was 318 miles per hour, as measured by Doppler on wheels. I think S is probably the best follow-on to Q for a couple reasons. One, Q mentions that it can approach speeds of 300 miles per hour. S follows on with a specific example that the fastest ever recording was 318 miles per hour. And it's probably coming before R, because R transitions with still, even though, still though, tornadoes can be powerful and destructive, each one lasts only a few minutes and disappears. So after showing how fast the winds are and violent a tornado can be, R transitions to say still, which follows Q and S, those facts, though the tornadoes can be powerful and destructive, which are the facts outlined in Q and R, each one only lasts a few minutes and disappears. So they don't last too long, even though they are violent and with very high wind speeds. So R is a nice conclusion to S, and the transition works for it to be the last sentence or following S in this case. So I like the order of what we have in paragraph 2. Let's move on to 3.